You probably saw before those kind of wallets that bought really early and then started to sell almost at the perfect timing, transforming a little sum of money in more than 200k or sometimes even more than $1 million. Those wallets are usually by insiders, but no one showed you how can you use those insiders to make money for yourself. By the way, welcome on Hands on Finance, where we study what's happening on chain because the blockchain is an open ledger, so we can see all the transaction, who made money, who lost money, follow the spam money, follow the insiders, and make even more money. So don't forget to pour down your little matcha and let's get to it. Before we start, let's be sure that we understand what is an insider. It's not always someone that looks like this. An insider is simply someone who is part of a group of discussion where they have some elements that is not available on the public market, like someone who will start to talk about it or someone who have a big influence. And they don't always look like that. For example, one of the most famous one looked like that and you couldn't know until you see the two bodyguards that we have on the left and the right that will be able to win any arguments against you by making you so tired of talking to them. And this is actually why some people created even some solutions to follow those kinds of insiders by Nancy Pelosi, and we can know what she's buying, what she's selling. We don't really have that in crypto, but we have something really similar. So our first step is going to be finding someone who made amazing trades. How to do that? Well, you can take one of the crypto that had a massive growth recently. For example, Team. Team, that's it. We have this meme coin. We like it. We don't like it. We don't care. And you know this. You've been on Dex Screener before. You go in the top traders category. Then you dezoom a little bit on the graph. Let's take a 1 hour, for example. And we will try to find some wallets that had a decent amount of buy and then a decent amount of selling. When we have 232 selling, it's not really interesting for us. This is probably a bot. Same 522, 524. But when we see a wallet like that, this is more interesting. We have unrealized gains of 200k. This is massive. Already 40k in the pocket for this wallet. 3 transactions. And you can check here that we buy early, we dump at the top, we buy at the bottom, we dump at the top. This is kind of the wallet that I like to study. Now, of course, I didn't say that this will not take time, but just with a few steps and then you will be able to spot them pretty fast. We have this wallet as well and similar behavior, buying before it and selling at the perfect timing. We are going to study their behavior and what happened before. You have to understand one thing is how does a meme coins goes to the moon? This is where we mistaken some steps. And I don't want you to mistaken those. So be sure to stay till the end because if you miss one piece, you will be wrecked. This is a beautiful pattern. But what is behind the pattern? This is what I want to understand because buying here is easy. Everyone can buy here. But the hard part is to pronounce the H as a French person and bringing people here as well to start to buy. And then again here. Because, man, like, you gotta have some strong conviction. If you buy here and then you wait, it goes up, it goes down, you don't sell. Even you're in big profit. And then you wait that it goes back up and then you start selling. This wallet is probably a better trader than most of us. We need to study what is going on around here. And the most important part in crypto is what's happening on the social, on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. Okay? The easiest one to study first is always Twitter because this is what happened really fast. YouTube would be more for longer term games and this one would be for really short term. Team does not, a little bit less than 1,000 followers. You can see all the different posts around it. Okay, but this is not what I want to see. What I want to see is what's happening with the followers. We will use the followers later on for something that not many people use. We have 2 ways to analyze the followers. One is a paid one and another one is a free one. The free one, you just go into the verified followers, for example, you will overlay, check what kind of followers we have. Here I can see a lot of Chinese characters, But when I know Chinese marketing and influencer with this, I know that this account, for example, even if they have a fairly good amount of followers, I know that it's just one that is trying to get money by promoting the project. So I will check the followers as well and trying to find something interesting. Like, again, we see tons of Chinese profile. So for me, it's going to be, of course, harder to analyze all this because I am not part of all those Chinese community. What I can do is that I will use Tweet Scout, which is a paid website, and you can use it for free at the beginning. I think I have a promo code handsome for it, but it doesn't really matter. Why I like to use this one is because I will have a highlight of the important influencers. What I mean important is the people that have a high follower count. Why we say this? This is another thing, because if you study the code of Twitter and X, which is public, it's available in the public, the GitHub, you can read it here. It's actually pretty simple how they will weight it. People would think that virality is nobody sharing with a nobody who's sharing with a nobody, but it's not how it works. Because Twitter face a problem. They have 500 million posts per day received on the platform, but they can only show you 1,500. So they have to do a filtering to decide what they will show you. This is the same in dating, by the way. Tinder have more profile that they can show every day to the potential partners, right? So unless you have the best criteria on the market, you're dead. You should play another game. And you could thank me because I'm not on dating apps. I quit a long time ago. I prefer gaming in the street, real stuff. But also here, we know that this is what is happening. So 1,500, and when you check all the ranking factors, you understand that it's the big profile that would have a lot more impact. So when small profile retweet each other, it's not as powerful as a big profile. And this is where I will study a few of the profile that share the thing to understand who are they. For example, Jeromelu.51k followers. That's a big profile. If he talks about a meme coin, of course, he's going to attract more people. Or we had this guy, 0x Sun, which have 84k followers. Now, this is also an interesting profile. Or again, Legolas, which is again in the project with 61k followers. If you want me to do a full video on how to study those Twitter profiles, I will do it. But understand a few things. Here, we can see a chat room, Telegram. So probably this is a locked chat room. When you see this, you understand that when they buy a meme coin or whatever, they are going to share it in their Telegram group, which will be pushed, maybe by a notification, to thousands of people. I know those kind of people because that person is doing exactly the same thing. How could they? Like, is it not enough? Like, do they always have to do more like that? I can't believe. But now that we know the Twitters around, what do we do with it? And what do we do with the wallets that we find? This is where all the puzzle, all the plan will come together beautifully. And I don't have an analogy to dating on this. I don't know why. Anyways, once I have those Twitter profiles, I will do one thing. If I see them interacting in a lot of things and I'm like, okay, those guys, they're into meme coins. What I would do is that I will use this bot that will let me know every time they start to follow another project. For example, this Twitter profile that started to follow this meme coin, or another one that was here, an AI project. And by knowing what are the big influencers and probably the one that have some insiders, who they start to follow, I know what's happening. This is next level stalking. But this is what we do on Handsome Finance. We stalk as much as the girlfriend of the people that hate us. They're stalkers, they like us. That's why their boyfriend don't like us. But that's fine, we can't satisfy everyone. I mean, why does a meme coin just like that will do better than another? It's not only about the joke, it's what kind of attention it's getting. This is important. That's why meme coin is not only about luck, but all about analysis and knowing what kind of wallets are in. The beautiful thing about it is that we can measure the quality of the attention by two ways. One, the money. Second one, with the power of this attention, which would be the number of followers. To measure the quality of the attention, I will measure the profit and loss of each wallet. How do we do this? Well, when we find an interesting profile, we have their address here, right? I can open any transaction and then I will just check the signer of it, copy it, and then in the investors boardroom, we have a special bot that can calculate those P&L in insane details. I have, for example, here, the number of days that this person traded, when they were profitable, when they lost, what is the profitability on each of their trade, their win rate, their loss rate. If they have too many fishy transactions, will we be counted as insiders as well? For example, receiving the tokens from another wallet. We calculate all that. And by having those two things together, now I can move on to the next step, because I have this bot that will let me know if I validate that the wallet is good and that the influencers are good. I can try to triangulate and be sure. And once I have that, by the way, this bot was also built by someone in the investors boardroom, because we have the best developers in those bot sphere, and then we have the best researchers as well. Once I have all that, and I mentioned at least 3 times the investors boardroom in the video, then next step will be copy trading. And for this, I will use Base because it's made by Dgens for Dgens. I mean, I even have a free course with it where I show you everything about meme coins trading, and I give it for the Base team. Then I will decide to copy trade or not those wallets by analyzing their win rate. I want a win rate that is above 50%, but it's not everything, because I have been searching wallets where win rate is 80% or 90%, but sometimes it can be MEV bots and you don't know exactly. But usually someone who is an insider, someone who is a retail investor, if you have something above 60% win rate, it's good. And then you check the size of the profit, because not all the wallets are the same. The size does matter. Yes, I know. We've been talking about this for decades, but here on Handsome Finance, we finally said it. The size does matter. If the wallets have 100K and they go 20K into a coin, don't trade that coin. If you have 2K on your wallet, you're not in the same league. You are not looking for the same thing. But on Base, to recap everything, it's not only about checking the top traders and just following them, copy trading them blindly. It's about analyzing their P&L and their transaction, but also what kind of coins it was and who were on this coin. Because when you start to do it more and more, if you allocate 30 minutes every day, you're gonna be able to find a lot more pattern. It's the same training as if you were, I don't know, a surgeon and you see a radio for the first time, you don't know what you're seeing. And then after 100 times, you know exactly every time those patterns. So I will analyze and measure the quality of the attention. And for that, I will also use the bots to see what kind of pattern, what are they doing. This will help you to go to the next level. Because if someone's been good a few times on the trade, then maybe you can go next to their other trade. Now that you know all that, you should definitely check this video, because this is what will help you to go to the next level with the skills you have now. It was a pleasure. And don't forget one thing before you leave. Yet, it is what it is. You have to stay handsome. I know it's not always easy, but it was a pleasure. Ciao.